Hey, how's it going out there?
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, guys and girls. Close that. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, man.
Before we start, I would like to mention that ASI, which is Arturo Sandoval Institute, is supporting us and really trying to do our best to communicate and help people who are interested to improve their playing and learn about music in general, learn about not only technical stuff but also experience that we get through our career and all kind of things. And we're going to be taking questions as well. And before we start, I would like to thank you, Wayne, very much for doing this, man.
It was my pleasure, man. Thanks for
Thank
bringing
you,
me
thank you
your
so
beautiful
much.
home here.
Thank you so much because, as everybody knows, this is completely free for everybody.
This doesn't pay anything?
No.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Well,
I'm so sorry. I can buy you. I can buy you a beer or something afterwards.
That's more than I deserve.
Yeah. But one, not two.
Just one?
Just one.
I can't drink this one.
And guys, be ready. Take your, make your question. Our friend Tim Lamarca is gonna be here with us, and he's gonna be getting all those questions and pass it to us as we go with the whole thing. And I got a bunch of friends who asked me already to ask you questions about different things. And, and I would like to start with that because everybody know that you have been so busy, and of course everybody wants you on the session. Everybody, including me.
Not everybody, but but some people.
Everybody wants you in the session, man. And but beside your lead trumpet playing job that you do with so many people all over the world, you also do a lot of studio work.
Yeah.
Which is a completely different kind of gig,
Yeah.
Because one thing is playing with the big band, the lead trumpet player, and the studio work is a different kind of thing because the preparation have to be different because you never know, we never know what we're going to find when we get to the studio.
You walk in and you don't know what's going to be in that book when you open it up.
It's always a surprise. And someday you have pom, 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 ping, pong, that's it.
Yeah.
Where's my check?
Yeah.
But the day after you say, I'm going to take it easy because it's a piece of cake. And then you have a bunch of things, sometimes in the legit kind of approach, which is
most of the time.
Yeah, and it's a completely different approach for the preparation, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. And the people ask me, when you go to the studio or when you go to play the league with a big band, you do the same kind of preparation?
Pretty much. I mean, I always start for me, the most difficult thing is going to the more refined classical way of playing. Because I grew up playing lead trumpet. That's all I did. I wasn't interested in classical music when I was young. I was a big band fanatic. And so I wanted to play in a funk band or a big band, and I had natural range, so I liked to play high notes, of course. And it wasn't until a little later when I started working, and I would see, the classical players were doing more of the studio work.
It's a different bag.
And so I started thinking, maybe I should think about this a little bit. I mean, I had a concept for it, I knew what it's supposed to sound like, but I could never quite do it. So I started taking lessons. I took lessons with Boyd Hood from the LA Philharmonic here and from Yuan Racy, our friend Yuan Racy, and I learned, about a different way of making the sound. And so, and I still work on that today. So every day when I start probably like you do. I start very soft, making sure the response is good. And if I've been playing hard the night before, like if I had a hard big band gig or something and my lips are swollen, and how we get spread, and we go to play and we get, this is happening. I'm going into work and I open up the page and the first note I have to play is.
I don't believe that never happened to you. You did that.
Well, never in public. And so I like you, I start with second line G and I try to make it small and pretty. and I fixed the problem. And if I can't fix it with the trumpet, to make it even easier, I'll take this out, because this way there's no
help.
There's no help, yeah.
No help.
But it blows very easy. So I can find that place,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And if it's not happening, I can work on it. And when that's happening,
I
then
put the slide back.
the sound clears up. And I can always get going. If I have to play big band lead, I give it hell a little bit, and I let my lips open up, but I have to be able to be prepared for the other thing, because like you said, you walk in, you never know. And with me, as you've done, because you do some session work here too now, so you're walking in, it's usually classical players.
Yeah,
or more classical oriented players. They're versatile, but and so
most of the time is like a classical.
So you have to go in, and I have to fit in. I'm not a great classical trumpet player, but I have to know how to make the right sound.
But you fake it very well.
And I've been my whole life. I fake everything. But so you have to. But I think it's just musical common sense. You know how it's supposed to sound, and so it doesn't take a genius to go, oh well, this is how this is supposed to sound. Just like it's always funny to me that I play in a couple of different orchestras, and sometimes we play the Pink Panther theme, okay, and then with the trombones that come in, but up, wait, right, and I was in the orchestra and they go ta 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 ta, and I was like, what are you guys doing?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, how do you not know? And you don't have to be a jazz player or a classical player or a specialist. You just have to understand, well, that's not how that goes. So you have to have an understanding for the music and interpret it.
What I believe is that the responsibility we feel about to get that kind of approach or that knowledge of the style.
Yeah.
Some people in the classical field, they really are not into the other kind of style, and it's the same thing.
Well, that's what it is. They don't.
It's a lack of knowledge.
And the same thing
both ways.
And same thing with jazz players too.
Exactly.
You put something in front of them that's straight eighth notes, and they don't know how to articulate the notes. They don't know the note length, or they don't understand the lift you put on certain notes, or how you play. Dee da dee da dee. How to articulate. Jazz players go dee da 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
And it sounds fine, but
That's true.
It's not really right.
It's a matter of style. But the knowledge of all style is our obligation when we are professional musicians, especially when you go to a session and you should adapt your computer to the specific style of music.
Yeah.
And it's like people say,
Yeah,
it's the same thing. When they say those notes and the jazz player, maybe they play like that. Yeah. Sound very jazzy.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's true. And for me, I grew up here in Los Angeles, so I kind of did most of my training. When I did start to get on work, I would get on sessions with players that were I felt were much better at this than me, for sure. And so you learn very quickly. You hear how something's supposed to be played. Yeah. I mean, if you're not listening, you're not going to get it. But if you're listening, like we're supposed to listen, you will go, oh, you're going to follow this person.
Paying attention is very important.
You have to follow. If you have a leader and somebody that knows what they're doing, then you follow them. I try to be that leader when I play first, But sometimes I'm on a session, maybe I'm playing first trumpet, but maybe I have, somebody else next to me that can play this little thing better than me. I'm going to let them play it. Yeah. Why not? I mean, I could play it, but they could really play it, And then the producer and whoever's in charge is happy. They like the trumpets, and we get the job done. And I think that's important, and not everybody has.
And then talking again about it and the preparation. When you do those things in the very beginning with the G, and you start without the slide, just with the lead pipe, and then what you do afterward?
I kind of do. I know you've talked about this, but I do kind of exactly what you do to start. I do the exact same thing. I swear to God.
Man.
Because you know.
Now you made my day.
You
Because
want
I invented that.
And I go like this, and I go.
I came out with that idea.
So yeah, but you know
I swear.
what? You ask my wife when she hears me play the trumpet. I do a couple of things, but then I do that because it fixes. I start with air attack though.
Absolutely.
And
That's the best attack.
Yeah, and then I put a little tongue, and then I play. And then I might go da 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 da, and then up a half step.
Different volumes and different articulation. That's so good.
And clear up if there's a problem, we fix it. And like you said, you're cloning the G. And to me, I mean, maybe a couple of years ago, I watched you give a lesson here, and I started doing that.
Oh, good, man.
And
Finally, I did something good in my life.
You've done a few things good.
Man.
But for me, by the time I get to G below and G on top of the staff, I've fixed a lot of things. Like if there's so if the articulation's not right on a note, I go, what's happening? There I go, do, 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 and I get it right, and I clear it up, and then when I'm done with that, I've solved a lot of problems, you know, and so it's getting me warmed up. And then
the sound get even.
Yeah, and
all the notes sound the same quality.
Yeah, it takes.
I call that a cleaning.
Yeah.
Cleaning.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, get the cobwebs out.
Yeah, just cleaning and polishing.
You work on this. You work on the sound. You work on the articulation. You work on the release. You know, maybe I'll get soft, and that it all.
You kill a few birds with one stone.
It manipulates the embouchure in many different ways, and so it gets you warmed up, and it's not taxing. It's not hard. And it takes, 6-7 minutes of your life to fix all that in 6 or 7 minutes. I mean,
you always try the maggio thing, the warm up?
Not really. I used to do a little bit. I never follow it to the letter of the law. The concept of maggio with the corners forward
is good.
Changed my career.
It's good.
Because I used to do this. You know, I used to
smile.
Yeah, because somebody told me when I was a kid, to hit the high note you have to smile. So so you stretch all this. So I was cutting my lip. I have a scar from when I was young. I cut my lip in band all the time.
Because of the smile.
Yeah. And so I saw this information on Maggio a long time ago, you know, when he was still alive.
Like a monkey's photo.
So I started doing that, and I noticed everything improved. And I never cut my lips since then. And that was like 15 years old, and I'm 58 now, and I've never...
Yeah, I want to share with you something I start to do. It's a little variation of a Maggio warm-up.
Okay.
I came out with that, I swear to God, like a week ago. Yeah. And so far, I believe that helped me even more. Because I have been doing that Maggio warm-up for years. Yeah, you know, the regular one. That is the same note, just bending every note.
Also putting like a stamp, you know.
All the way down.
Yeah, I think that's good. Like in the snap method, you know, I do some things where I bend notes too, because that also helps find the middle of the note. You bend it out of color, and then you bend it up, and when it's in the right place, boom, the sound comes alive. So you find it, and you can even
the song come out.
Do you ever I do this with students sometime when I feel like they're not playing down the middle of the horn. I'll have them do things like same kind of thing, but.
And even not
and make them find. When you find the bullseye, you got the bullseye, and I go, you find the bullseye, and it's going to be cloudy here, and it's going to be cloudy here. But when you hit the bullseye of the intonation and stuff in the middle, that's where
everything clear
the good color is. Yeah, and a lot of players that struggle.
I never tried bending up.
It's hard. Yeah, I mean just a little bit, just to bend it out of center. But I had some students with success with it because
it's difficult
because they're playing. They feel like maybe their slide is in too far or it's out too far, and so they're playing above the bullseye. and so the sound has no color. Even they might be in tune, but they're not really playing the center of the horn. So I make them find the middle, and then we put the tuner on the stand, and then we shut their eyes, and I go, you play at B for me, and they play, and I go, you bend it till it feels good, and when it's clear, now look at the tuner. And if that tuner is in the middle, your slide is cool. But if it's in the middle and it's sharp, then you need to pull out. So you're on the middle, or the other way, And it's a good way to figure out where to put this, because a lot of young players, especially, they might have a trumpet that
without forcing anything, the natural sound.
Like they might have a trumpet that that D is very flat or something, and so they don't want that to be flat, so they push in. So that's in tune, and then everything else they have to lift.
And what about the others?
They have to play everything off center.
It's like people in orchestra for years. They tune. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about the rest?
Yeah. I always say, but there's no A concerts in this song, so why?
No. Maybe it's in A flat.
But I always tell a little joke about this because as you know, you rarely move this tuning slide. As brass players, we know where in tune is, and we play by ear.
Yeah, we have to.
The piano is already set. We can't, it's going to be the same unless you go to Europe. Maybe it's a little bit higher,
Yeah.
But so we have this set. So when when the orchestra, when the oboe player gives the A, they give one for the strings, and then they give one for the brass. Well, the brass, we go. I don't ever move my slide. I just go, okay.
No.
Why would
it's not necessary.
It's not going to be different, so.
Another thing people always ask me if I put this thing not even work, but when I play the D, low D or the C sharp or something, I never put this on.
Yeah, and you seem to be able to center them.
Because I forced myself for years to tune that note.
Yeah.
Without moving the slide.
Yeah, that's right on the money.
No, without the water.
Yeah, well, you sound like you're scuba diving. But but you're hearing the note in tune, and so you're going to play it in tune. Warren Looning used to do. Warren would never move his slide.
Never.
I see him playing. He'd play low C sharp, and I go, "Oh, he's playing it in tune." I can't do it. I mean, I can, but it doesn't center well for me. I can do it,
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
I rather not cheat.
It's a matter to do it automatically. Of course, we know that we have to do some adjustment to play those notes in the right, with the right intonation. Because if you play let me get. I've been drinking a lot of water this morning.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna play in tune.
What if
you do something inside my mouth?
What if you were playing soft though? If you had to play something, can you do It's a little more difficult though because you don't have the air working for you. Now you're fighting the horn more.
It is.
Like in different notes, like A on top of the staff. If I'm going to play that note, I do it that way. If I'm going to play it soft, especially.
With the third.
Because it'll be. But if I'm playing loud, I can do 1 and 2. Or in a big band, I never do this. But if with the strings,
you better use it. What about the E of the 4?
That one's okay open on this horn.
It is.
It's good open, yeah.
But with strings and with orchestra, I mean, with symphony orchestra in general, it's better with one or two, no? Is what I hear.
And maybe I know on the C trumpet the guys do that.
Yes, I think it sounds
sounds
a
good.
little better in tune.
Yeah.
Most of trumpet, that E, I mean the D concert, is a little flat.
Oh yeah, it's
in
blue. It
general.
sounds blue. Yeah. On every trumpet almost you pick up.
Yeah, sound a little flat.
It's,
and a one and two, when you play with strings or goodwinds or something, I think it is safer. It's more safe.
Well, that like the third valve for me if I'm playing. So I'm gonna do it because it's safer.
Absolutely.
You know, this way, I mean, I can use the slide, but this way I can just play down the middle. You know, but I've played E's 1 and 2 before though.
Let me ask you another question. In terms of we talk about already like a kind of warm up or preparation a little bit in the very beginning, but later on when you get into your practicing routine or practice session, do you use any books, like regular books?
Not really.
Not really.
I mean, I have little exercises that I've taken from different things. Yeah. After I do the long tones, I do some flexibilities, and I've just taken little things that you've heard, and I maybe modify them a little bit. Like first thing I would do is I'd do those long tones, and then I would do maybe I try to do everything real soft.
Clark, you do some Clark?
A little bit, but not in a long time. Not religiously. Not like I should be. Because of my schedule and what I'm doing, I'm always it's like damage control. I got to get fixing the problem so I can get to work. And then if I'm on vacation and I got my horn, then I might practice some Clark and try to get the fingers going again. Because the stuff gets very rusty. I mean, when you're working for a living, I mean, you get good at doing this, but things start to get weak on the trumpet,
I had an interview the other day, which is, of course, from the 50s of Clifford Brown, that the great Willis Conover interviewed him, and he asked extensively about the practicing routine and what he was doing and so on. And he said, when I'm playing a gig, I try at least to practice 2-3 hours before in the day.
Oh, wow.
And he said, when you don't have a gig, I said, I play maybe 3 or 4. But even, and I agree 150%, because one thing is to play the gig, and another thing is a preparation, to get ready. No, not even to improve, because improve is always a room to improve a little bit, but just to maintenance, just to keep what you achieve already.
To stay at the level playing field.
To stay in the same, even in the same play.
Because this goes down fast.
Oh my
It goes
goodness.
up very slowly.
Very
the improvement part,
But just to keep it in the same level, beside the gig, beside the playing, we have to keep doing our things and a scale and things and all kind of flexibility or whatever, and all kind of things. To be honest, I am fanatic to practice with the books.
I know. Well, yeah. I mean,
I love the Arban. I believe, like everybody said, the Arban is
it's the Bible. Yeah,
the Bible.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, everything you need to know about playing the trumpet is in this book.
Almost.
I mean, not about jazz or anything, but
but
it's all just notes and how they're interpreted, and there's some great information.
But it's another books that I really love very much. One of them is Timofey Tochiser, the book he wrote. I love it. And also Clark, of course. Clark, Claude Gordon, a few books of Claude Gordon. I also, have been doing for many years, not too much, but a couple of exercises of Caruso.
Yeah, I still, to this day, I do a little bit.
I'm still doing the 6 note.
I do that too.
Without moving anything, and in a way he said, and then I do one of the interval.
Right.
maybe the second or
Yeah.
third. I'm trying, as you said before, trying to find the center of
Yeah.
the note, the center of the note.
That's where the good stuff is, man, in the middle.
Yeah, and you feel that everything flow and vibrate a little easier when you really hit the center of a tone.
Those the Crusoe style exercises, I have when people ask me about endurance, you know, because a lot of times they're going, well, you know, I can hit them as I can't last. I said, well, if you do that, do a couple of those things a day where you don't move this, you're training yourself, because when you play a piece of music, you're playing a shout chorus of Gordon Goodwin or whatever, this doesn't move. There's no time.
It's no
You
time.
know, even if you've got 2 beats rest, you can't go.
Oh,
You know, there's no, so you have to train your embouchure to have this used to sitting there.
to endure that thing.
Exactly, and so I even think when I'm working on a piece of music, a lot of times, you know, trying to figure out how the pacing is,
Yeah.
during the 4 bars of rest even,
You keep your
and maybe it's never going to be that difficult, but if you can do it like that, then when you do it for real and you have 4 bars and you can rest, it's going to make it much easier. So
yourself say thank you.
So that's very important, I think, you know, for building endurance.
Yeah.
I mean, because I watch young people practice all the time, and they sit and they play something, and then they stop and they turn the TV and they get a drink, and then they play the next thing. Well, you're training yourself to play this much at a time. So if you have to put all that together, you can't do it. You know, because you have to. So this is like, I think the practice room is the training for that, and if you can make that your practice room habits cross over onto the bandstand, then you have the chops to get through the gig. You know.
I always make a kind of a comparison with the track and field sport people.
Yeah,
The people who prepare to run 1,000 meters, they don't practice, never practice 1,000 meters. They practice 20,000 meters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in certain speed, they don't have to kill themselves when they do it 10 or 20,000, something like that. But it's just a comparison. It's just to compare, more or less, to make it a kind of a simple way to see the preparation. We have to prepare ourselves in the way that when you play in the gig, it's less than your preparation.
Yeah. It's an
And then you're going to flow around, you're going to go around, navigate through that thing, and at the end, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, your preparation is way past what you need to do on the job.
Exactly. Thank you. Because that's the way I would love to speak, but you know my English.
Your English is great, man. What are you talking
It's
about?
very funny.
I understand almost every word.
Oh,
No, but you're talking about track and field. Another thing, you know, people ask about warming up. You know, well, such and such says I shouldn't warm up, and I said, well, I mean, there's a certain natural thing that happens, but we still have to. It's kind of a physical act, so we have to prepare the body. You talk about track and field. A runner would never, you know, a sprinter would never get up and put their tennis shoes on and start running as fast as they can run.
Let me see how we're doing with time. That's okay. Let me put this to be sure we are. I'm gonna turn this off.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna put it in airplane. Yeah, but I'm gonna keep this to be sure. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to run out of time for questions.
But
you have any questions there
We have
already?
some questions. Actually, one of them, I'll get to that one. But one was one that you knew was going to come up, but I want to ask that first.
You can ask it. Go ahead.
Mark Schwartz asked, said, what do you do in order to develop your incredible sight reading chops? So I know sitting next to guys like George Graham and others certainly help. But did you have those skills before, or when you were majored, or how did you develop that?
I mean, when we're young, and you have to know the alphabet first of all, so you know what a quarter note is and a quarter. It's just like when you're learning to read, you learn the letters, and then you sound out
Excuse me one
each
second.
word. You go consta, pated, whatever the word is,
Yeah.
right? But eventually, you look at that word and you recognize it without having to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the same thing with music. you're sounding out rhythms when you're first learning. You're going 1 and 2 and 3. Eventually, or you see the rhythm da 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 da. Oh, I'm supposed to look at the camera. I'm sorry, I'm getting dizzy is staring at me too. It's kind of making me nervous. But so you see the rhythm da 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 da, right? Well, when you're young, you're going 1 2 1 and 2, and you're sounding every beat out, and that's not music. You have to learn where you recognize that and see that. So I think eventually you start looking at the information, and every once in a while, just like when reading text, a big medical word will come up, and you have to sound it out. And those are the things we have to practice. So. But my band director in high school, we read a new big band chart every day.
You want some water?
Sure, I'd love some.
Yeah.
We read a new big band chart every day, and then we'd put it away, and we'd go on to working what we were working on. So by the time I was in 12th grade, I was a pretty good reader.
I would like to acknowledge our magnificent sound engineer, Dustin Higgins, who's there in the control room, helping us to make the best sound that we could. Yeah. I'm gonna get a glass for you.
Oh, awesome! Yeah. Dustin, who's in the booth there, is a great sound engineer, and he actually taught me how to do some of the sound stuff. So I'm kind of fluent in Pro Tools and stuff now because of him. It's costing me a lot of money. Thanks, Dustin.
So I guess in other words, just basically saying the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Well, no, it's not the more you do. You have to learn the alphabet, but the more you do it, the more you read, the more you start recognizing words. So you can get yourself into a situation where you're sight reading music, getting together with somebody that's playing things right. Like my teacher always played, my high school band director, we played duets together. So we're constantly in our lessons. All we did was read music. So that helped me out a lot. I mean, I don't sight read perfectly, but you have to keep your guard up. I think you have to always be looking ahead, just like if you're reading a speech. You have to look ahead. You need to, so you don't hit a wall and go, oh God, what is that? Or the key change. You need to know what's coming up. And it's okay to get your pencil and, if something's difficult, marking it on the page so you don't screw it up. You can call them idiot marks or smart marks, depending on how you choose to look at it.
Question.
Rich Wetzel's asking about that funky thing he saw in your horn.
What funky thing are you talking about?
I
don't say anything funky about my horn at all. Talking about my cool valve caps, maybe. I know you want these. It's actually, I didn't know what it was called. My buddy Steve Dillard from Horn Trader gave me this, and it's called Le Freak. And I'm not positive exactly what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to
put it in the mouthpiece, or
you put it on the mouthpiece and the lead pipe, and it's just supposed to connect these things in a different way. This is made of sterling silver. There's 2 little plates here. I haven't messed with it enough to really know if it's doing any good or bad.
If I put one of those there, gonna sound like you?
Oh, you'll sound better than me, I'm sure. But I'm afraid to take it off now because it's become a very good conversation today. So it's a work in progress, and I'm going to start actually spending time with it, taking it off, taking it on, maybe record myself with it and see if I hear any difference.
With or without?
Yeah, with or without. Okay. I mean, sometimes these things, as you know, the slightest little change on a
you have to believe.
Yeah.
Experiment is always good.
Sometimes things...
You never know.
Sometimes, and trumpet players are very gullible, so if somebody tells us to stand on our head for 2 hours a day and,
Oh yeah.
and drink motor oil, you're going to have a double high speed. I go, yeah, what kind of oil should I get?
W40.
Yeah, they'll do it, because we're very gullible. But
you have another question?
Yeah, another question. They're asking about a little bit of, if you could tell a few of your experiences with Warren Looning.
Warren Looning was one of my dearest friends, and he's kind of single-handedly responsible for me being in the music business. I mean, I got a lot of help from guys, from Gary Grant and guys like that, but Warren got me on my first movie date. They needed a trumpet player, and they were stuck. And he was kind enough to. I'd been playing in a big band with him, and he recommended me, and I did a good job. So that contractor
called you again.
I'll tell you just a very quick, funny story about the contractor. His name is Joe Soldo, and he's 90 years old, I think now. And after that recording session, I said to him, I go, Joe, thank you so much for the opportunity. It was a big deal for me. A big orchestra, and Malcolm McNabb was there, and George Graham was still alive, and Warren and I was playing 4th trumpet. I've never been so scared to play 4th trumpet in my life. I was just terrified, and it wasn't even difficult, But at the end of the day, I thanked Joe, and he said, the guys said you did a great job, and he said, I'm going to put, I said, I appreciate you putting me on your list. He goes, yeah, you're on the bottom of my list. And I go, well, why the bottom? And he goes, well, which one of my guys should I fire to hire you? And he goes, you're going to be on the bottom of my list. And as they die or piss me off, you're going to move up. And it's been 30 years now, I play first trumpet for him because everybody passed away or pissed him off. But anyway, Warren and I played in the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra together. We were social friends. We'd been dinner. We would go out and have a drink after the gig all the time.
Great musician.
And one of the greatest musicians Los Angeles has ever seen. I mean, versatile and natural. He could play any style convincingly. If it was a Dixieland thing on a movie, man, it would be.
He nailed it.
It would be so right, and they would do 5 takes. Everyone would be completely different and so right.
Wow.
And he could be like the film score, like pretty classical solo. Play lead trumpet, big sound, swinging. He could do anything, and it was all completely natural.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he was something else.
Now, with Warren, a quick question for you: was Warren Looning the person that's been referred to a time when somebody will ask him about playing the Louis Armstrong piece? He'll ask what year.
Oh yeah, well, we used to joke about that. He'd go, yeah, I want you to play the Louis Armstrong, and they'll go, 1935. He'd go, what time? So late at night, but Warren, not only would he play sound-wise, right, but he would harmonically, he would go to the style. He wouldn't play too many hip notes. He would play in. So that's why he was so successful. I mean, Warren played on thousands of movies.
I want to tell you something that I've been admiring you for so many years, and look at you, your career, how you developed your thing and your playing, and I have to tell you publicly that I really respect a lot in the way you improve as a soloist.
Well, I'm a work in progress.
No,
but thank you for that.
But
Thank you for noticing.
No. I really mean that, and I notice it's very noticeable, because I remember when I met you many years ago. Of course, I think it was with Jack Sheldon.
Yeah, that you came and sat in with the band.
I sat there and played a couple of little songs there. He invited me, but you was playing the lead, and I said, "Wow, damn, man, this guy has some chops." What the? But I don't believe at that moment already you got already that kind of skill or abilities as a soloist, and especially to play solo, to go around the chord changes and all the things. And I noticed that when I met you, from now, you are a real jazz trumpeter. No, man, I noticed
that's
that.
very flattering. I mean,
no, but I'm very serious, and that's a good example for everybody that complain. Oh, my skill, improvisation. Man, there's always room for learning. There's always room to improve. It's a matter of the desire and your passion, your dedication. Be so serious about that, and you are a living proof and a demonstration that it's possible to do it. Of course, you naturally play the trumpet, sound and all those your skill and play, in a magnificent way. But to play bebop and all those things, it's a little back, it's a little thin, it's a little different thing.
Oh yeah.
And I noticed many years ago, they said, man, he got an incredible chop, he can play the trumpet or what, but he's a little weak in the improvisation thing.
I would say I would.
I don't know. I'm saying that because we are real friends.
No, I know.
Can't say.
But let me tell you this: when I was growing up, when I was in high school, I was always taught, well, you either play lead or you play jazz. They told me this, and so I played lead, and then they said, well, there's hardly anybody that does
that's
both.
wrong. That's wrong.
I know, but at the time, and so I mean, I could fool around in band and play the blues scale, but it wasn't until later I heard some different players, in LA.
But the knowledge that you have now, the control you have on the chord changes, and your skill as an improviser is right on the money. It's right on the money. Well,
thank you. It's a
No, I really mean that. I really mean that. And it's good, man. It's good for everybody because you are a role model for endless number of trumpet players all over the world. And it's good that you are a living proof that you can do everything. You can go to the studio and play the legit thing, and you can play the lead, and you can play the third trumpet too if you have to.
I like the third trumpet.
It's no problem with that. It's no problem with that. And beside that, you can play a beautiful melody with a beautiful sound, which is another thing we have to learn. Because some, let me tell you, some legit player, they're so concentrated in one kind of playing or what type of playing, and they don't care about other things, which is, I believe, is not good to deal with limitation.
Yeah, I think
it's better to be ready to do what we have to.
Yeah. I think some people follow a certain passion, though, you know, so I can understand why it happens, because maybe they just love this music so much, you know, that's all, or you know, with jazz purists too, it's kind of the same thing, you know. There's
I was about to continue the same conversation.
The same thing.
It's on the way.
Yeah.
They want to sound like fluffy or jazzy or airy or whatever, and they don't want to find that pure good sound. But when you play the melody, man, and you play it with a good fat, like Juan used to say, fat sound, thick, fat sound, pretty sound. It's completely different, you know. We have to try to imitate a good singer.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah.
And somebody said many times, I heard that, they said we even should know the lyrics.
I've heard that as well. I don't know.
And that makes sense. That makes sense when you play a melody and you're trying to imitate the inflection of the voice and all the kind of nuances that a good singer could do.
Yeah.
If you apply that to an instrument, believe me, the result gonna be much better, much better. And it's a matter of music. I believe it. Music is like 1 meter, 100 centimeters. If you know about Baroque music, you got 1 inch. You have another 38 to go. You know what I mean? You know about hip hop, okay? You have another 1/4 inch.
They say
and on.
They say if you just play Baroque music, you're gonna go broke. You're gonna be driving a Yugo, living in a refrigerator box.
Let's make a little parenthesis here and play a little duet. What do you think?
Okay.
And we got a lot more questions too. So.
Yeah.
Let me put some reading glasses on here so I don't.
While you're
me too.
Dr. Sandoval, somebody was asking about the bell on your trumpet. They asked if you had a 2-piece bell. I just maybe they didn't look close enough.
2-piece bell?
I think the ring. They could be referring to the.
This?
Could be referring to that, or could be referering to the Fuente logo too. So I don't know.
Oh no, this is the Arturo Fuente cigar logo, because that's one I smoke cigar, and for me that's the best cigar in the world. And this is a cross because I'm Catholic and I love to have a cross in all my horn. And the rest is a regular arrow.
Regular arrow. It's got a little end and a big end.
We had Maria Osorio asked if somebody could play. It didn't specify which one or both. Play a few notes of Maria for her.
Go ahead. You got Maria.
Maria?
Yeah, Maria. What's that story?
Okay, and now we're going to play the...
Right.
So which one are we going to play? The Fox Hunters there?
The Fox Hunter.
Okay.
Guys, just to let you know, this is Urban and a regular book that everybody has, you see. And this is the page 281.
Number 68.
Number 68 is a little duet from the Urban book.
We got a page turn to deal with here. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Okay, you count off. Wayne gonna play the first, of course. I'm gonna play the second.
All right. How about 3 beats?
Okay.
I'll report these one. Mm. I knew we were going to go faster.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, Urban. Yeah, let me take the book out of the way because the people want to see your new device to be sure that's a secret.
I think it's a problem. No, I like it actually. It looks cool too. So. Like I said, I've been playing on it for a week
Okay,
now.
Tim.
More questions. David Richards asking about the first time you two met, formed together, the two of you.
We met with Jack Sheldon, I think. That's the first time you came to
Catalina,
see Catalina
in Cahuenga, the old place in Cahuenga.
Catalina's
He
bar.
was playing the lead with
George and
George
Graham was
Graham,
alive,
and with Jack Sheldon, big band.
Yeah.
And I don't know who invited me there or what.
Yeah, do you remember playing with Jack Sheldon in 1996 though in New Jersey?
It was like
We were the backing
in the
band.
hotel.
Yeah, it was at Merv Griffin's Resorts, and it was the New York Voices, and you and Michel Legrand.
Wow.
And we got in the snow. Did you get trapped there? Remember, it was the blizzard of '96.
That's 20 years ago?
Yeah.
I forget what I did 20 minutes ago.
But I remember we hung out a little bit there. I remember I was listening to you practice in the dressing room, and you were going.
Yeah, we met that.
We didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was nice because I never heard a big band like this, you know, that band.
The band was at its prime then too.
Oh
because
my
we were
Lord!
playing.
Tom Q was one
Yeah,
of them.
yeah, he was playing,
And he wrote a lot of those charts for the band, no? Yeah.
And Jack was playing great, you know.
Man,
I
I
miss
always love his sound.
Oh man, he played with so much heart, you know. And
Beautiful player.
And Yuan, he was another student of Yuan Racing, you know.
You are, man.
miss him.
We miss him so much, man. You have another question?
Yeah.
Or we
Somebody's
can-
like a quick demonstration asking about Sandoval's.
The
About how-
fan?
Yeah, about how you use that in your routine.
Oh my Lord, I don't have a mind over here now.
Uh-oh.
But it's okay. It's just like a set of.
It's good for the airplane and stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
great for the airplane.
And Arturo, I hate to say this in a public place, but you remember the one you gave me?
Yeah.
I left it in the airplane.
Oh
I left it in the seat pocket. In the
no!
airplane.
Hopefully somebody will get with your mouthpiece.
How much do I owe you?
There is a replacement.
There it is right there. Well, show them. Do one of your things on it because.
I swear to God, this is the last one I got, but it's okay.
Oh no! I'll
Who
buy
better?
one.
No,
I'll buy
man.
one.
No. We run out.
You're out?
Now, yeah, we have to reorder. We have to make more. It's something I don't always use it with a metronome for something, you know, because it's about the control of the fingering, but the control in time. Because I hear some people, for example, doing the Clark. That is a problem.
So you're developing a bad habit, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you're playing something like a bebop thing, if you do. Problem. If you're playing it with swing. that you go with
Time,
with the beat, man. And I always use it with the metronome. Actually, I discovered my drummer recommend me this metronome. They call it metronomic. Man, I love this one. For example, this one I call it Clark. I hope you hear that?
You can see it.
You hear it?
Oh my God, yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's good, man.
Because the thing is to force your fingers to react when they have to. Know when that happens naturally.
Right.
You understand what I mean? To create that kind of a discipline to be obedient
Right.
to the order from the brain to your finger to react when they must. You understand what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And all kind of things. I use all different things. For example, I got this. This is 6/8. Okay, this is the kind of thing I like it because it's a 6/8. Keep taking. Play in 4 against 6/8 and vice versa.
You know, I've always been impressed with that about you. Another time we played together, we were playing with Dave Grusin at the Monterey Jazz Festival, West Side Story.
Oh, yeah.
And you played a solo on America, and it was in 7/8. The solo's in 7. And so you're playing over the solo section, and it's in 7. And, you know, and I'm going, oh, he's blowing over. It sounded great. I'm going, I wonder if he knows where he is.
No,
You know, you did though, because we came out of a break or something, and you were on it. I was going, how the? I mean, my brain doesn't work that way. But you were blowing over 4 over it, and doing.
I was just lucky.
And everybody landed. I was like, all right. Well,
Okay.
I didn't know where we were. I wasn't even.
The other thing I used that. Hold on a second. Yeah, let me put the time here to be sure. I don't want to. By the way, guys, you should know that if we get over 5:29, they're gonna cut our transmission. We don't want that to happen. And the other thing is when I put the mouthpiece. Let me find the spot at the hole here. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just to find, as you said before, the center of the note. We have to produce and find the center of the note because this don't help at all. All the way.
Right.
Misguide you to go to somewhere. But for the tonguing also helped me a lot.
Yeah, that's what you were saying, yeah.
But it's okay. That's yours.
Oh man, thank you.
This is the second one.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Yeah, you're very welcome.
Now
Don't throw it away.
he gave me one of these, so now I have to practice.
Obligated.
Okay, another question.
Just asking, somebody's asking a little bit about your experience with Gordon Goodwin, playing anything in particular about playing with Gordon Goodwin's big band.
Gordon who?
I'm not familiar with this Gordon Goodwin guy to speak of. Next question. I've known Gordon since I was maybe 19 years old, when I first met him. I didn't work for him until many years later. The way we started working together was actually he was composing the music for a cartoon called The Cowboys of Moo Mesa, and it was this cartoon with cows and the contractor was Dan Savant, who is the fourth trumpet player in the Big Fat Band. So I got called to come in and play this thing, and it was kind of like Copeland-esque kind of music, and but there was some other stuff too, and I got in there and did a good job, I guess. So he started using me on most of his sessions after that. And when he put the Big Fat Band together, we did a recording session, because originally it wasn't even the Big Fat Band, it was just a session to record his charts. And so Larry Hall was a different band. It was Jerry Hay and Gary and me and Larry Hall and Dan Savant. So it was different, it was kind of pre-Big Fat Band. And then from that the band was born, and
They didn't ask me about, but
you weren't here yet.
I'm gonna say that.
You played on that first record, though. Remember, you overdubbed.
I'm gonna tell you, Gordon is an incredible musician, and is a state-of-the-art musician. Such a great arranger and a good saxophone player, great piano player, but a very devoted to the music with a lot of passion, a lot of serious dedication.
He's always searching for different things.
And he respects everybody. He's a class act, and I'm so grateful because he wrote a few charts for my album.
That's all Peanuts chart.
Oh my Lord! No, he did like 4 charts.
Yeah, but that one. I mean, I love all of them, but the other one. What's the other one?
No.
Things to come.
Things to come.
Things to come and Bebop too. Yeah.
Things to come.
Great charts. Yeah. Yeah, he's anyway. So I've been with the band since the beginning, and it's been fun, and it's
an incredible band.
It's like a family too, because we're the closest thing you can have to a road band here.
And I have a big followers. Like the big band all over the world, man. Oh, the people are pending what you're doing, where you're gonna play, what the last things. That's great, man. You all deserve it. Another question.
This I think pertains to both of you. Didn't mention specifically, but ask how you deal with jet lag, all the traveling, especially now you've been to Europe and you're going to be going back again. You're traveling all over the world. How do you deal with that?
Sunday I'm going back to Europe again for 3 weeks. Oh my goodness! You know what? At a certain point, you have to do what you got to do. And,
sometimes we don't sleep,
Yeah, and it's tough. You know what affects me when I don't sleep enough? More than the shop is my breathing. I feel like I get short of breath when I don't sleep enough. Yeah. I need to sleep 6-7 hours at least, If I sleep 7 hours, I'm perfect. I go to bed at midnight, I get up at 7. I walk my dog, and then I expected he was doing something. He didn't do anything until he get back to the studio. And then he looked to the carpet. And then I look at him and say, man, why you do that? Then he look at me and say, thanks God, we are just in time home because I was about to poo on the street.
But I don't know about you, but like going to the East Coast, that doesn't bother me anymore. 3 hours.
It's not a big thing. No. The worst thing for me, for example, is coming back. Going to Australia or Japan or China or whatever, I don't know. I used to that for so many years that coming back from Australia or Japan or Far East or something. Mm-hmm. Oh my Lord! I spent a couple of days I don't know. I sleep in the daytime, and then at 2 in the morning, my light died, and I said, "Oh my goodness, it's time to go to bed."
Yeah. When I was just in Japan not too long ago, and I got there, and I tried to sleep on the plane. I tried, but when I got there, and sure, 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, boom, wide awake. Oh. So I just get up and I get on the computer.
It's 13 hours difference.
I get on the computer, and then I have to do the gig that night, and then we hang out after the gig, and then I get to sleep, and it takes me. But after maybe third day, I'm okay.
Yeah, there's the normal adaptation of the body.
Well, the one you had last year was crazy. You went from Texas to Seoul, Korea one day, and went to Buffalo, New York, and then after your gig that night in Buffalo, you came back, and you're already on the freeway here at 10 o'clock in the morning going to Cucamonga. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more questions. Yes, Barb Holt says she loves your playing, Wayne, and said when you last month when you were with a guest, well, you kind of crashed the party crasher. You mentioned about you went through an embouchure change when you're having some problems with your chops a few years ago and being free buzzing. She's wondering about said having a difficult time learning how to do it. Says she struggles with that too. She wants to know if there are any tips you can give her.
I didn't really go through an embouchure change, but I did have a cyst on my lip, and so I had to stop playing. And I didn't know how I was going to keep my corner strong, so I actually I talked to Bobby Shue about this, about lip buzzing, because I could never do it. I could buzz my lips. I just never thought about it. So I started. He had me put my fingers here like I had a mouthpiece here. And so that's how I would practice, because I had this cyst here and it hurt, and I couldn't put a mouthpiece here. So I did that just to kind of keep my corners activated on a regular basis. And when the thing went away, I noticed now I can actually do this now, which I can never do. But I think it's improved my playing in certain ways as well. For instance, if I can't do, if I can't make that happen on my lips like that, because I've been playing real hard, like if my lips were swollen, there's a definite connection between that. That's not happening. This won't be happening. So to do air attack like that, should be able to do air attack. But if this is not happening, that doesn't happen. Then I have to start forcing, and that's when I have to go back to the long tone things and the tonguing and bringing things back together. And that's been actually something that's improved my playing, I think, and been very beneficial to me. So even though I got messed up, I learned something from it. I'm trying to look at the camera.
Like Rafael Mendez was warming up in the dressing room. Somebody has opened the door, slammed the door in the bell, and I think he lost a teeth or something, and his chop was completely broken. He couldn't play in, I don't know for how long, but it took a lot of time. And the guy who really helped him was Luis Maggio.
Wow. I should start, I've never really looked at that routine to the letter of the law. You have to show me what you're doing. Maybe I just start incorporating
it. It's an exercise there that I like very much.
Since I kind of do the embouchure already,
No, but the one there in the book is, no, I'm confused. Oh, there's a Cloud Gordon. Cloud Gordon have an exercise of a tonguing, like a piano thing. The Hanon piano book, but he got that and starting in the pedal C, in the low C.
The best pedal notes I've ever heard.
No, but Maggio have the same thing.
Yeah.
But let me find a book. Let me get a book, because man, this is medicine.
That's a good way to put it. Like we're talking about damage control. Sometimes we need medicine,
This, I swear God, this is medicine. This is a Maggio book. I'm gonna show you the thing. I hope you get it there. But it's different than the, up and up and up, half a tap going up, half a tap until.
So you find it beneficial to be tonguing on the pedal tones and.
My tongue get not only a little more divine and clear, but get a little faster too. Because when you force your tongue to work down there,
yeah.
when you go to the regular register, you feel the tongue is moving,
right.
moving a little.
That makes sense. Yeah, going to extremes and anything like that, like you said, we have to go past what we're going to do, so we go past this way too. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. We're students of this instrument. We're always learning. I'm learning sitting here next to you today.
I was given a master class in somewhere. I think it was in the little island St. Thomas, like a year ago, and I got an experience that I started using. And I'm gonna tell you what happened. It was a young fellow trumpet player. He was like 20, maybe 21 years old or something like that. And I started to answer questions, and he started to make questions. And then can I ask a question? Yes, absolutely. And he said, Maestro, I am a trumpet learner. I don't let him finish the thing. I jumped there, and I run where he was, and I embraced him, and I kissed him. And I said, man, this is the first time somebody said to me such a thing. And I love it. Yeah. I'm gonna start using now until I die, because that's the thing that the best phrase and the best way we could put exactly the same talking you're saying. We gonna die being trumpet learner.
Like he says,
trumpet learner.
Eventually you die.
And the trumpet win.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what, the trumpet gonna always gonna win.
That's right.
Okay, question.
Okay, another question from Wetzel is asking about on years of therapy. You go from piccolo trumpet to playing screaming lead, and wondering any tips on how to do that.
On a flute or on?
Well, the tune he's referring to is.
Yeah.
It's called Years of Therapy, and appropriately titled. And when, to be honest with you, when I recorded this, I overdubbed it. We put the band part down, and I came later, and I warmed up on the piccolo trumpet, and I played the piccolo part. Then we went to dinner. then I came back and I did the solo and high shit and all the other stuff, And then we were finished. So when we were doing the CD release party, and I had to play, I go, shit,
live.
I hope I can play this.
Real life.
So I practiced it the week before, and what I did was my wife, being a great piano player, I said, hey, play this. I give her the music. I'll play this with me. And so I would play it like the piccolo part by itself, maybe 4 or 5 times just through the piccolo part. And then she was smart. She goes, now go practice your B flat trumpet. Go practice something else and get yourself tired.
And come back.
And then come back. She goes, because that's maybe what it's going to feel like.
In real life.
Yeah, so, and when I was talking about, preparing for the bandstand, so if you just practice a piccolo part, I got that, and then you practice a change.
I think Barbara need to get some credit, man.
Oh, she gets a lot of credit from me, trust me.
No, and also, to be honest, I don't know, because that's your private thing, but no, I'm talking about. I
have pictures.
No, but I'm talking about your improvement in the jazz.
She's very responsible for that.
I knew it.
No, she showed me. When she'd hear me playing.
I knew it without knowing.
She would hear me playing through something, and she would go, no. She'd go, Wayne. She'd go to the piano. She'd go, Wayne, you're jiving your way through this, and then she would show me. So that helped. Then she gave me some things to play in. But anyway, that piece. So the way I practiced it, so I played the piccolo part 5 times through, and then I would go play some range stuff, and then I'd come back to that, and then I'd play the whole thing through. Mm-hmm. And so when I got to the gig, I still wasn't sure, but I definitely practiced beyond. And so when I got on the gig, I was a little nervous, and I didn't hit a home run, but I got it pretty good. I made it to the end very strong. But I don't think if I would have practiced like that, I would have made it. I don't think so.
And that's no fair for the rest of us, because that's gonna raise even more the bar.
You were there the night I had to play that thing.
And in Catalina?
The piccolo trumpet thing.
I was there in the audience.
That's horrifying.
And
I'm glad I didn't know that.
When I hear that, I start to hate you a little more.
But that's the only way you can really prepare for something like that.
Okay,
you know,
we have another.
We got
we
more
have another
questions.
19-minute.
We have another question. We have one from George Rollin. Our friend George Rollin said, "Do either of you have an exercise to show players how to keep the throat open and relax during inhalation and following, exhaling?"
when I was always just taught to play.
I'm gonna get something. I'll be back.
To use an open syllable, like oh, so breathing on. And fill from the bottom up. So you get the lungs completely full, and give something else, or if you get a piece of garden hose and do the same thing.
The same thing.
That will kill. On the inhale, will keep it relaxed. Go ahead, you expand on that a little bit.
This is an invention of Arnold Jacob.
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah.
The great guy from Chicago, the tuba player. But he wasn't a
It
specialist.
looks like an illegal thing from my high school days. I mean, I never did that, but I saw other people do it.
But man, it's so simple. In terms of the throw and all the things, my concept is we don't even should think about it. I think it's the concept about that is we shouldn't use the throw for nothing. The thing, this shouldn't be completely bypassed, like Pacific. Don't participate, don't let this participate in any function of blowing or inhaling or whatever. The thing is inside the mouth, but not in the throat. The change has to be inside the mouth, and especially the tongue. The position of the tongue is crucial. It's crucial. You cannot pretend you're gonna play the high register with your tongue in the bottom of the mouth.
Yeah.
Eh? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, we'll look at Dizzy.
I'm sorry.
We start
Yeah. But the tongue is like it's like a valve, the regulator of the air and the amount of pressure you're gonna put in that air in the way out. Mr. Jacob invented these things. It's very simple. The only thing we do with this is just it's very simple. It's just blowing and inhaling constantly and try to keep the ping pong ball on the top without letting it go down. That's it. It's very simple. When I got my first lesson with Timofey Doc Scheser, that was funny, man, because that was my first question. By the way, unfortunately, it was through a translator because he speaks only Russian and I speak only Spanish. I'm talking about it in the 70s or something, many years ago. And he said, Maestro, what about the breathing, the respiration for blowing and thing? And he said, what about? And he said, yes, as human, we need to breathe, otherwise we die.
Yeah, if you don't breathe, you die.
That was his answer. And then later he explained a little more. He said, we shouldn't complicate the story more than that it is natural. Sometimes the people believe it's because you keep 1 ton of air in your body, you're gonna sound bigger or stronger or higher. It doesn't work that way. It's not the amount. If
of course,
in the way you utilize the efficiency of the air, but it has to be controlled by the tongue and the pressure you put in your diaphragm, of course. But the speed of the air is the final answer of down or up, because this everything is white, but my tongue is very flat in the bottom. Whoa. And when you go up, the same story. It's the tongue.
this for sale now?
It's, you know, the tone. This is the 1 1/4.
I know, now don't you're pissing me off.
Bragging.
No, but
I've taken baths in smaller things.
no. The thing is, the breathing is important to get full of air, but normal. Don't
Yeah.
do anything, exaggerate anything, because if you're playing the phrase and you are so full of air,
Great
you're
tension,
gonna you're gonna sound tense, and your expression, your musicality or whatever, gonna be in jeopardy because you're so
Well,
inside.
you can only, you know, if you look, you can only put so much air in here.
A little,
You know,
very
it's
little,
it's
very
so,
little.
it's
Tiny
so,
hole,
so they think about the, you know, when you talk about the amount of air, it's how we compress the air, like he said, how we control
You
it.
have another
We got-
13 minutes. Go ahead.
We got more questions.
Go ahead.
I guess we're talking about the aperture or something as far as that too. But somebody was asking about, they want to hear you play a double C, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to.
I can play double AC, I think. I'm not really prepared, but.
Please.
I don't recommend starting like that every day, but.
Just a warm up, right?
Yeah.
And they're also asking, because you mentioned about your chops, the cyst you had. How did you take care of that? Was it surgically removed?
No. I got. It was a long story, but I eventually went to a doctor in Washington D.C. that said, he said, you need to stop playing. You're going to do permanent damage. And so I took about 6 weeks off, and it did go away. And I was taking some prednisone. They gave me some. And they shot it with cortisone.
Some medicine, yeah.
And I was scared, you know. And so when I came back very slow. But I learned a lot. I came back very slowly, and I'm much more careful about the way I play now, because and at that time I was also going through some horrible personal stuff in my life. I was going through a lot of stress. I went through kind of a rapid weight loss because of this. And then when that happens, your face gets thinner, the lips get thinner, and you get weak. And so I was in trouble. You know, I was in trouble here
And
here,
then
and
you
here.
recommend that I should keep this?
Yeah, I'm working on mine too. So
I keep working on this for 67 years, man. And,
no, this is the gas tank is the secret here. So anyway, that was a really
the gas tank and the octave key.
yeah. The saxophone. Why do they have an octave key? That's so unfair, you know.
That's cheating.
That was the first time I heard that when we was doing
Yeah.
the thing with the little thing. And
And I said
and when you saying, yeah, this is the octave key. I said, man, I never heard that before.
The rotary trumpets have those little leather keys on there, but that's I don't know. But, another question somebody's asking about, like the pencil method, the pencil exercise. If either of you have done that. Or
I did it when I was young, when I was in drum and bugle corps, and I don't know if it did any good or not. It probably did, you know, because makes the corner strong. The only argument, or not even argument, but I don't know if you agree with this or not, but when they talk about the trumpet, they're always talking about building. We're going to build range. We're going to do it, like they make it look like it's a weightlifting competition, where it's more about discovery. You know, with those things, you discover certain things by doing certain things.
Exactly.
And those kind of things are good for building corner strength, because in order to have endurance, this has to be strong. And so this is where the strength comes in. But in here, I think it's more of like a physics equation. Wouldn't you agree, you know?
No, I never tried those kind of things. And I think I tried, many years ago I tried once, and I didn't like at all the feeling I get in my chops.
I just did it when I was a kid. I don't do it anymore. But I recommend it to kids sometime now. Just
Dr. Reason always say something. I've been in the audience in several of his masterclass and clinic, and he always mentioned something that I really agree 150%. He said, concentrate always to keep the corner of the mouth
stationary.
tight,
Yeah.
but be sure that the center of the
flexible.
mouth is flexible.
Yeah. I've heard it.
Man, for me that's a maximum. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because if you put your whole machine, because this is our machine to produce the sound. If you put that in the kind of tense way, I think, I don't know, good luck to do things. Sorry, modest apart. To do something like that.
It's got to be relaxed.
Relax. Don't smash your chops. Don't prepare yourself like a weight lifter.
Yeah.
No, man, no. Because the bottom line is the music.
Yeah.
And we need to keep alive our chop. And the blood have to keep the circulation to keep your sensibility 100%. To get that connection with the mouthpiece have to be friendly. When this start to get a torture, you're not gonna have too much fun.
Well, you know, it's when you get tired, you know, we start getting tense when we get tired, when the embouchure is giving out, and that's when you'll notice, like, you know, your sound starts getting tense. For me, when I'm getting tired, then I'm having to manipulate and do everything, and I don't like my sound anymore. Even for the height thing, it starts sounding shrill, as opposed to keeping everything as relaxed and open.
Yeah, but
You know,
instead of
and it's getting pinched, you know.
exactly.
You get tired and then you start pinching, and when that gets tense, that's what it sounds like. And we hear, you know, that's a lot of people sound that way.
But a dog always say that, man, keep the corner very tight, but the center very flexible to go up and down and be able to really maintain that relationship, friendly relationship. We shouldn't hate each other. You should even put a little bit of honey over here. Don't fight with the mouthpiece. Enjoy your mouthpiece.
Doc Edmondson, he's pretty good. Don't you? I mean, I have to think he has one of the greatest sounds I've ever heard.
Unbelievable.
From the bottom to the top, it's the exact same.
Yeah,
It's
but
just the core.
on the same token, I believe he's one of the guys who really have like a strong and probably the stronger dedication.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
A devotion, a
To the
respect
trumpet, yeah.
to the instrument. He loved the trumpet, and that show.
Yeah, I just saw him at ITG. He's still trying to make a better trumpet, you know, and discovering new things with music. He's
paying attention. I was impressed. I did when I did my master class there. He was there in the audience, and he said, "Man, I was, you know, was like for me, it was like a big compliment, you know."
Oh, man.
And I said, "Dog, what are you gonna say in front of you, man?" but that say a lot. That means a lot.
Yeah.
That he don't go to your thing.
No.
He's there to learn.
And
He is.
and believe me, that's my philosophy too. I swear to God, I always want to learn, and I pay attention to everything and everybody because that's the way we learn things and improve things.
We're still taking lessons.
If you believe that you know everything and you are the thing, good luck, my friend, because you stop improving the right way, and instead of improving, you're gonna, like you say before.
Yeah. And I've seen it happen around here. You know, places they go nowhere. They never get any better. You know, you took a lesson with Michael Sachs.
A couple of them.
Yeah, and I took one a couple of years ago.
And you know, I took a couple of lessons here too. In this same share, we're in the same place with Tim Morrison too.
With James Morrison? Tim.
Tim,
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a beautiful lyric.
Whoa.
He's got such a tremendous
Tim, man, I love his playing.
Play some music, you know, just phrasing out.
You know what? In the lesson he gave me, he said, "Man, you have to think that you are a good opera singer." It's true. When you sing that way.
Everything opens up and
different thing when you sing that way. I think we still have a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we have a little question.
Go ahead.
We're going to involve one. Somebody from Indonesia is directed to Dr. Sandoval. Somebody
100%.
self-taught.
I like
Yes, sir.
I like to
Yes,
wrestle.
from now on, don't forget
No, I'm
that.
having some trouble with my back.
Call 911.
This is a gentleman from Indonesia who's self-taught, who was asking, without a lot of facility for lessons and things, how do we correct ourselves and improve their, he says technicalities, but become technically better. I think you kind of touched on that with the metronome a bit. But being self-taught and not having the resources, having a lot of teachers.
Oh, join the club. I am one of those. And I think the information is there. It's in the air, it's in the internet, it's in the book, it's in the good teachers, it's all over. It's up to us if you are hungry for that information. If you're hungry for the information, you're gonna find it. You will. You doesn't matter how or what you have to do to find it, but you will find it. Because some people get a lot of things for granted. They go to a good school of music or great school of music with great teachers, have access to the best instrument, best books and everything. And that doesn't mean
Not everybody comes out of there knowing anything.
That's true.
You have to want it, and you have to go after it. You know?
And that answers another question, basically similar. Somebody was asking about any particular method for for learning phrases for improvisation, but I think it's the same thing. The information is out there.
listen to a lot of music. Listen to jazz is a language. It's something you have to incorporate in your blood, in your system, in your brain. It's an attitude in life. It's something you have to speak the language. It's something not because you read a book or somebody give you a little piece of theory, you're gonna be able to learn it. How?
You can't write that down.
How?
Yeah.
That's my question. How are you gonna explain someone? If you do this and that, you're gonna sound like that. That's not true. That's not true. It's something that you have to learn. What time is it? 28. Oh my Lord.
Steve Diller was asking if there was one or two.
Okay, go.
One or two of possible your favorite Maggio exercise. He pulled out his book while he was listening here.
Favorite Maggio exercise?
Maggio exercise.
Oh, the warm up, the first one. Number one.
Number one. All right, I think that's about it. We had a lot of great trumpet players joining. Gary Grant was on here. Thomas.
Oh man, hey guys, we love you, Wayne.
Yeah,
I love you, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
I love you, man. You are
Take
one of
care.
the kind. Thank you, Wayne Bergeron, and thank Tim for
Thanks,
your
Tim.
help. I'm saying, Mr. Dustin Hegan for your help with the sound. God bless you all, guys. And I hope we encourage you to go and keep practicing.
Next month, Jerry Hay.
Jerry Hay on July 13. Okay, man. 1-3. Bye-bye.